Have you ever noticed that there are words that get stuck in your throat? Those sentences you want to say, but never do. Those truths you feel burning inside, but keep hidden because you're afraid. Afraid of hurting. Afraid of being rejected. Afraid of ruining everything. And so you choose silence. But that silence hurts more than any words you could say. Because when you don't say what you truly feel, when you suppress what your heart screams, you're not protecting anyone. You're just creating an invisible distance between you and those you love. Carl Jung knew this well. He said that everything we hide from others, we eventually hide from ourselves too. And what we hide becomes our shadow. That part of us that grows in the dark and eventually emerges in ways we cannot control. Maybe that's why you feel so tired. It's not the work, it's not the commitments, it's this silent weight you carry inside. This unspoken truth that becomes heavier day by day. How many times have you preferred to lie with an "I'm fine" instead of saying "I feel lost"? How many times have you smiled when you wanted to cry? How many times have you kept silent when you should have spoken? Silence may seem safer, kinder, but in reality, it is the most subtle form of violence that exists, because when you don't tell the truth, you force the other to guess, to interpret, to fill the void with their own fears. And you remain invisible, even to yourself. Jung taught us that the unconscious never forgets. Every unspoken word, every repressed emotion, every missed gesture accumulates down there. And sooner or later, that unspoken explodes or implodes. But today, I want to tell you a different story. A story where silence stops being a prison and becomes a conscious choice. Where you learn to distinguish between the silence that protects and the one that destroys. Because not everything needs to be said, but everything needs to be felt and acknowledged. Stay with me, because what you discover might forever change the way you live your relationships, and especially the way you live with yourself. Do you know what the problem with the unspoken is? It's not that the words disappear. They transform into sensations in the body, into knots in the stomach, tension in the shoulders, that weight on the chest you can't explain. Jung called this phenomenon somatization. But you don't need to know the technical name to recognize it. You feel it every day. It's that fatigue that doesn't go away even after sleeping 10 hours. It's that anxiety that rises from nowhere when you should be calm. It's that anger that explodes over insignificant things when you're actually angry about something else entirely. Your body knows, even when your mind pretends not to notice. Think about how many times you said, "I'm fine," when you weren't fine at all. How many times you smiled when you wanted to scream. How many times you hugged someone while feeling the need to run away. Every time you betray what you truly feel, your subconscious notices and protests. With insomnia, with anxiety, with that feeling of emptiness that you can't fill with anything. It's not malice, it's not weakness, it's simply the way we function. Jung said that we are made of opposites, conscious and unconscious, what we show and what we hide. And when these two worlds are too far apart, internal conflict arises. Have you ever felt alone even when surrounded by people? Well, that is the distance between who you pretend to be and who you really are. It's like living a double life, one for others, one for yourself. But in the end, in the silence of your room, you are left alone with that truth, and that truth is heavy. Because inside you know you are lying, not to others, but to yourself. You're lying when you say you don't care about others' judgment, but then you spend hours rereading that message before sending it. You're lying when you say you're happy like this, but then you look at others' lives on social media and feel that pang of envy. The unspoken is not just what you don't say to others, it's especially what you don't admit to yourself. Your body knows it. Your subconscious knows it. That's why it's so difficult to truly relax. That's why it's so difficult to be present, because a part of you is always busy hiding the truth.